Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west where real women come equipped with scripts and fake breasts. Find a nest in the hills, chill like Flint, buy an old drop top.
Good morning, everybody. Going into the afternoon. Joey Gutierrez here, Director of Membership for the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce. And with me today, I have members of ours from PHP, Robert and Malisa. How are you doing today?
Hello.
Fantastic.
Good morning. Amazing.
So you excited to be here? With
Very
all the
excited.
lights in your face and everything?
Yes, we're like movie stars in here.
Well, thank you for being here. This belongs to you. It's our chamber, but it's your chamber, and so we're very happy to share these podcasts and these chamber chats with our membership and talk about initiatives you have going on. So let's start first with PHP. How long have you been doing it? How long has it been here? How can people get involved? And then we'll go into your initiative that you have. But I know you both have been really successful with it. So talk more about PHP to us.
So far, yes. We started actually January of 2020. We opened up our first office on Central in Carlisle. And after about 6 months, actually 3 months, COVID happens. And we noticed a lot of the businesses on Central were closing. And we're going, whoa, what do we do here? You know, but what was interesting about it, actually, it kind of benefited us. We didn't know it at the time. But as we started doing more business, we started having more people and traffic come in our office, and we couldn't stop the flow. And PHP actually stands for People Helping People, and it started actually in 2009 by a guy by the name of Patrick Bet David. He has a YouTube channel called Valuetainment. And I had been following him for a couple of years, and I got prospected on LinkedIn by his sister, Paulette Bet David. And she says, we don't have a PHP office up in Albuquerque. And she goes, can you start one from scratch? Because I have a background in finance and money and insurance. So that's how it got started here. And she says, can you start one from scratch? I go, yeah, we can. So it was just Melissa and I. And we weren't licensed yet. We got licensed. And we opened up our first office there on Carlisle and Central.
Yes. And so if you want to find out more information and how you can get started with our organization, you can reach out to Robert Garcia on LinkedIn. His phone number is 505-974-6311. And then I'm Melissa Garcia. You can reach me at 505-974-6311.
So it's Valentine's Day,
Yes.
and it's a couple affair here going on. You guys started this together here in Albuquerque.
Yes.
How's it been working with each other, getting this going? Because you just told me earlier that the amount of people that you want involved in PHP. So from the ground up, I mean that's a big undertaking, and then to do it with your spouse.
Well, our goal here in New Mexico, I mean, I grew up here as a young boy south of here in Belen, and I know just from growing up in the state, we're not taught a lot about finance and financial literacy. And, my dad worked hard his whole life, and what he taught me was if you can't afford it, don't buy it, So basically don't get into debt. And but that was the extent of what he taught us. And what we do is we do a lot more in the financial planning realm, 401ks, IRAs, retirement plans, life insurance, annuities, debt settlement, to help the community. And the undertaking that we have here is we want to develop enough people, and I say 1,500 licensed reps in 2 years, because I want to take financial literacy to the rural parts of New Mexico. Okay, a lot of businesses have people come to them, and I think because we're a rural state, guess what? We're going to the community instead of the other way around.
And when you look at the couple aspect, there's people that say, oh my God, I would go crazy if I worked with my spouse. I'd be
I'm
pulling
one of
him.
them, no.
You think that, but it's like you guys are working towards the same goal. You're building an organization and a business together. And it's not like you're going your separate ways in the morning and you're spending all that time apart. You guys are working towards the same thing. And so I'd rather look at him across my desk than working with strangers all day, and we're working towards the same goal and we're building the same dream.
Well, and they're doing something in New Mexico that I think is new to us, but it's attainable at this point, and that's generational wealth. So when you work with your spouse and you are financially independent, and then you're bringing other people in, that's what's going to get our state to the next level. It's going to take your family, obviously, but the fact that you want to bring more people in, and those rural areas, the one thing about them is they won't go to a business for stuff. They stay where they're at, so they need someone to come to them. But when you do come to them, they're loyal, once they trust you. And so you're correct. I love small town New Mexico. You know, I'm from up north. My family is, and Albuquerque, but I love going up there because the people are loyal there, and they're just looking for education, something that they didn't, you know, they weren't knowledgeable about, like financial literacy. We'll be doing more courses here, and of course we're going to have you involved in that. But you have an initiative, you have an event, is what we'll call it, this weekend. What's that about?
So we're actually having, he's the first Latino millionaire in our company. He's going to be flying in from Houston, Texas. We're going to be having an event at the Marriott Courtyard, the Journal Center. And this is going to start teaching you how you can get into our organization and how you can start to build that wealth instead of depending on, let's say, your job or the economy, really, to create your wealth. And this is going to show you how to build a second stream of income. And so we'll be hosting that from 10 to about 11:30 on Saturday, February 18th at the Courtyard Marriott.
Sounds like a fun event. Sounds like a big event. I think you touched on something there that's really important to New Mexicans right now. A lot of people have a full-time job. Maybe it's not paying them enough. Get a side hustle. That's really how you're going to start producing money. And then if that side hustle turns into your regular hustle because you're making enough, that's the goal, right? And that's financial independence. And I think PHP is one of the companies out there that allows you to be almost your own boss once you get to a certain level of success. More so than a lot of other companies.
No, what's interesting about the financial services industry is that the products and services that we provide, everybody needs them. Mm-hmm. You talk about retirement. You talk about are you on track for retirement? Do you have enough money? I think the people that retire, their biggest concern is, am I going to have enough money to last me the rest of my life? Am I going to run out? So, like you said, we can start this as a part-time side hustle. And a lot of people do. I'm going to give props to a couple of guys on our team. Mike Romo right now, he's a retired fire captain, and he likes helping people, okay? But he says, I came to PHP because of the name, People Helping People. And he says, I love to help people, but in the industry that I came from, he says, every time I went to help people, it was during trauma. And here I get to help people and put a smile on their face just to teach them financial literacy and help them with their money. And what's interesting about that is in the month of January, he made a little over $10,000.
Wow.
In a month. And I asked him, I said, Mike, when's the last time you made 10 grand in a month? He says, I never have. So that's an impact, you know, being able to help the community, but he also got paid for his services.
Well, and I'm sure he's never bored. Working with people is like my favorite part of this job. You guys go to a lot of our events. You bring the whole team. We appreciate the support there. We've been trying to scale our events bigger just to support more people coming when you bring groups like that. So we appreciate the support there. But if you're looking to work with people, I know it's called People Helping People, but if you're just looking to work with people, this is one of those industries you can do it daily. And it's just friendships. Really, you build relationships with folks. They trust you. There's things that I've learned from it. I talked to Jesse before I met you guys, actually. Yeah. And, I learned that, life insurance and death insurance, there's a difference. And right now I was paying for death insurance. And he's like, man, but you're living. Don't you want to, and I was like, okay. So there's a lot of things that I need to learn. And if I had questions, I'm sure everybody else does. But at my age, you want to start looking, when can I retire? Do I want to work till I'm 70, 75? And if I do, can it be for myself or for someone else? Am I going to be forced to? And I think you provide the options for people to get there.
Well, the products and services that we have, actually, they're tailored to meet the client's needs. So we're brokers. What that means is we're not beholden to just one company. So when a client comes in, we sit down, we evaluate their financial needs, and we'll find a company that suits them instead of the other way around. I don't have to pull something off the shelf and say, hey, this is all I got. Yeah. So they get to pick. The companies that we represent have been around since the late 1800s, early 1900s. And like we were talking about death insurance and life insurance, a lot of times it's we laugh about it sometimes, but it happens when we least expect it, And you mentioned the life side. We have products with our carriers that provide what are called living benefits. That means if you're alive and you can't complete 2 out of the 6 assisted daily living functions that we all have, and most of it's just ambulatory. It's actually getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, showering, going to the kitchen, making breakfast. If you can't complete 2 of the 6 ADLs, you can access the death benefit before you die to use it for services. and that's tax-free money that you can use.
Yeah.
Instead of putting it on a credit card or going into debt.
Well, and that's a good point, because a term life insurance, I've always been a fan. I have it, but then I'm like, well, if I don't die within 30 years, I just, spend a bunch of money and no one benefits from it. But there actually
Well, the insurance company benefits.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You're right. But there's, if you want your loved ones or you want to benefit from it, there's options. Universal life, whole life, all these plans that you guys have with established companies. I think people need to understand that these are established companies in the finance world that have been around helping for over 100 years, a lot of them. So feel comfortable when you're, talking to them and making those decisions on your life, because this does, with the economy, everything going on, it's just, as we grow, things are going to get more expensive, and we're going to see that. So how are you protecting yourself? Not just while you're living, but later on, retirement, there's so many different options, and I'm learning about them now because of members like yourself. So, and this event this weekend, if you want to get more involved, stop in, come by. The link is in the chamber chat that we have right now. Click on that, register. We would love to see a packed house there. We would love to see a lot of New Mexicans educating themselves on something they might not know about right now.
Yes, we appreciate you.
We do, and just come on out. It's going to be it's going to be a fun time. I mean, a lot of times too, talking about money and finance, retirement, people think it's a boring subject, but it's something that we all need. Mm-hmm. So come on out, help support New Mexico. We want to raise the financial literacy here in our state. And what's good about that, if we raise literacy, financial literacy, what's going to happen, our GDP goes up and our crime goes down.
Yeah. Yes. And for New Mexicans, those of us who stay here, because it is the land of entrapment, this is how we're going to build our state from within. We're having a lot of folks come in from out of state and trying to help out and stuff, but it really starts with us as the core group that have been here forever. So we got to do our part and give back, but educating yourself in anything is the first step. And this could be your first step to, a new career, which would be great, a side hustle, or just, your family benefit later on. So we appreciate you for being here. Did you want to add anything else? We would love to see you at Gala. I know next year we were talking about that, but you have a bigger event that's going to help the community going on that day. So congratulations. Thank you for all you do for the community and for our members. And for our membership, they're in our directory. Please reach out to them if you're interested in a job, just to find out about benefits for yourself, your family, anybody else. And it is people helping people, so make sure you refer friends, whoever it may be. But appreciate you guys being here. Anything else on Valentine's Day?
Well, you know what? Have a good day. It is Valentine's Day. We're going to go have some lunch probably. But you know what? I love New Mexico. I love the culture. I love the people. And changing perception about how we think about money, that's our goal. And what we want to do is just basically, empower the community to learn more about their own personal finances.
Absolutely. I think valuing ourselves is a big thing that we need to do in New Mexico, and this is where it starts. So show yourself some value, invest in yourself, and invest in your future. And we appreciate you again. Thanks for being members of the Chamber and supporters of us, and we can't wait to see you at the next event.
Thank you.
Thank you.